In 2024, I was highly charged with the spirit of patriotism and went on to be a founder of a movement called All Constituencies Aligning Movement. I had some very erudite young men and activists who got together with myself at a center where the person who's running that center is also very civic-minded and he has been involved in a number of projects and continues to be. Um, then we went on, had meetings, and we got stuck when we got to fundraising because we did not want to get tainted money to fund us. And we thought we could go it alone. I come from a self-help tradition. I have raised funds, but on a very small scale for chapels and community ministries and so on. But this time I was very ambitious. I thought this movement will catch fire. And then, you select old friends, schoolmates, and ultimately you realize that they're not as dedicated to the idea as you, the founder, is. Someday, somehow, the account, which is on my WhatsApp, might be resuscitated. And I still have the energy, I still have health on my side, and it is a possibility. It can be done. But one of the aspects of it, of the memorandum that I authored and was supported by all who shared the idea, was that South Africa needs a presidium, not one president, not so-called one all authority invested onto president. I had a part that talked of a possible presidium that would have some 4 women and 3 men sitting down together. It is a model that maybe has never been tried anywhere, even in other political countries that have a different name for president, as that have also elected women to the position of an all-power office vested in it, and most power office vested, even if it is said to be democratic. I don't think it can continue to resemble even democracy or something better that is more African, to keep on having a single person in authority of a country. With the evidence coming through now that a president can even be the boss of the bosses, the dawn of the cartels. So making money for themselves at the expense of all our lives. A lot of people are in the grave. Names are coming up. The latest after the woman called uh, the woman who was assassinated for the Tambisa Dioran something scandal. Now, a police person, Flazi, is said to have been poisoned. Now, the president is accused of having a hand in that because Phala Phala is right in the middle of it. Now, I can tell you that those who were organizing the arms deal to my information, at that stage, raking money for themselves also, were a small cabal at the top that was presided over by Thabo Mbeki. You had Mosiuoa Lekota there, you had Frank Chikane there, you had Jacob Zuma there, raking money for their pockets under the guise of an arms deal. And they did all this with a very small group of people. Now, a president who has a lot of police force in all over Gauteng supporting his criminal mission is more dangerous. You cannot keep on having a single power invested, of the presidency invested in one man, for that matter. If it were to be a woman, it would be better. Then you can see a woman in Namibia and other African places have already done a lot of difference. But now, a crooked president steeped in crime and the blood of his people, you cannot continue. It shows you that you must never trust a single presidential office invested with all the power of the country. Neither can you trust any political party now. In this presidium, you would have people who come out of a movement and other movements other than political party. Thing called political party is corrupt to the core, is rotten. I can't listen to anybody who says, let's amalgamate, let's do this. I cannot listen to that. Let there be a foundation of movements in regions of urban, of rural, and elsewhere, coming up with people that they can put forth. I looked and listened and viewed Darrell Adams, who is a politician by default, because he does not belong in politics. I don't even believe in her political party. But that person would make a sterling part of a presidium of presidents. And the nation would pick out other women and men of strong character and mettle to run this country together with the royal households across the country in a system that is more indigenous, especially to South Africa and Southern Africa. But most of us are lazy to think beyond, outside of the box. You think there must always be Mr. President, Mr. President. Mr. President is just a house slave, man. It's just a kitchen slave who gets all the money from the master, who's even raised by the master. Like our present president was raised by millionaires who have long been here and have gone deep into the roots of every institution of the country. They produced this person, groomed him from youth to where he is today as your president, even twisted the arm of Mandela to begin, if Mandela was sincere at all, to love him more than everybody else. But I can't blame Mandela, because he knew by that time that most of those who came from exile were more skellum than than this person was. Even Terra Lekota spelled it out that this person was a sellout. And everybody who knows politics knows Terra Lakota was very close to Mandela. So Mandela chose this less rotten apple, to wanting him to succeed himself. And he didn't succeed because he was surrounded by more gravely rotten apples who set up Thabo Mbeki against Cyril Ramaphosa when Chris Hani had died. And I don't support any of these three names the politics of these three names because they were in politics. And every time people use political language of concepts and doctrines that came from some dead leaders of thought in the Europe and other places, the more I realize how we are in a most destitute position of mind, health, socially and otherwise. Even religious leaders are being touted. One judge who's known to be a religious leader. Woe betide this country if a religious leader rules that one day you'd rather have somebody from a religion that is in the blood of the people, of their ancestors, like in Iran, leading your country, not a so-called Christian coming to lead your country. Man, that is a betrayal of our ancestors. Deep betrayal. Please think with me, and whenever I have time, I'll talk with you. I won't be lazy. I won't undermine myself. Ruminate around the possibility of this country having a presidium, not a president. Presidium that will be selected before elected.